This is where every piece of black leather begins. Not soft, not refined, just raw, heavy hide. Inside this factory, thousands of hides a day begin a journey that will end on the shelf of a luxury boutique. From stiff, raw hide to a bag that sells for thousands, every stage in between is precision. Before it becomes anything recognizable, this hide has to survive a process that takes weeks, not minutes. Every hide is logged and weighed before it enters the line. Quality control starts before processing even begins. Not every hide is destined for luxury goods. Graders separate the best material from the rest, right here. Ported. Soaking rehydrates the hide and removes the salt used to preserve it during transport. Soaking typically levers. This alkaline bath loosens the hair and outer layer, preparing the hide for the next critical step. Liming drums maintain a pH near 12.5. Removing the hair cleanly, without damaging the grain, is what determines the leather's final quality. Beneath the hide is tissue that has no place in the final product, entrance. It's stripped away here, layer by layer. Even after cleaning, every hide gets a second look. Cluck. Flaws marked now save problems later. This is the last moment the hide looks anything like an animal skin. From here, chemistry takes over. Tanning is the chemical step that turns hide into leather, embrittered. Without it, the material would simply rot. Inside this drum, the hide is being permanently changed at a molecular level.
Getting the pH right here decides whether this leather will be soft and durable or stiff and brittle.
This is what tanned leather looks like before color or finishing. Workers call it wet blue. Splitting separates the premium grain layer from the lower layer beneath it, used for different products. Only the top grain layer will go on to become the leather used in this brand's flagship goods. Consistency matters here. Every part of the hide needs to be exactly the same thickness for what comes next. Retanning adds the body and feel that separates ordinary leather from something built for luxury goods. This is the moment the leather becomes the color the final product is known for. Deep, even, black. An uneven dye job would ruin months of work. This check happens before the hide moves any further. Without this step, the leather would dry out brittle. The oils added now keep it supple for years. Flattening the hide now prevents creases that would otherwise be locked in during drying. This machine pulls out moisture fast, without overheating the leather and damaging its fibers. Stretching the hide while it dries keeps it from shrinking unevenly later, when it's already a finished product. Dried too much, leather cracks. This rest period brings the moisture back to a workable level. This machine does what your hands would do for hours: soften the leather until it feels right. A smooth underside means a cleaner finish later, and this step is about preparing the surface, not just looks. This coating protects the leather from scuffing and keeps the black tone consistent across every piece.
Curing locks the finish in place, so the black surface holds up to years of handling.
That signature grain texture customers recognize isn't natural, it's pressed in precisely, right here. This final pass is what gives the leather that subtle, expensive-looking sheen under store lighting. Every sheet is graded by hand before it's approved for use in a finished product. Every cut is planned in advance. Burvitz. Wasted leather here means wasted cost in every finisher piece. These shapes are no longer just leather, they're the first recognizable parts of the final product. Thinning the edge here means a clean, flat fold later. Sloppy skiving shows up in the final product. A crisp fold line now means a clean seam later. Tully. Small details like this define a luxury product. This stitching has to hold for decades of daily use. That's the standard for a product at this level. Each station builds one piece of the puzzle, crivels. The bag doesn't exist yet, but its parts are taking shape. Hardware has to be set with exact pressure. Too loose and it fails. Too tight and it damages the leather. Even the edges you'll barely notice get finished with the same care as the visible surface. This mark is what customers will recognize instantly, and it's set with the same precision as everything before it. This is the moment flat leather panels finally become a recognizable bag. What's inside matters just as much, and the lining protects the leather from the inside out.
This is the last seam texted. After this, it's no longer a project, it's a finished product. This bag has to survive years of daily use to Cowhide. That gets tested before it ever leaves the factory.
Before this leather is approved, it has to prove it can withstand years of friction and handling.
This is the last set of eyes before the product reaches packaging. There he is. Nothing skips this step.
This final polish is what makes the black leather catch the light just right under store displays.
This small detail is what tells the customer exactly what they're holding.
This soft cover protects the leather from the moment it leaves this table until it reaches its owner.
Every fold is done the same way, every time tool. Consistency here is part of the brand experience.
The box is built to fit this exact product. No extra movement, no risk of damage in transit. Every unit gets a unique code, so it can be traced all the way back to this exact production run. From here, these boxes will travel to boutiques and showrooms around the world. A single shipping pallet can hold 40 to 80 boxed leather goods, depending on product size.
One building, one hide, dozens of transformations. This is what it takes to make something built to last. What takes weeks in real time happens here in seconds. Every single one of those steps matters.
This is where the journey ends, and where, for its new owner, a different one begins.
Every bag on that truck started as a single, raw piece of hide and ends as something built to outlast a trend.